In this video, we're going to talk about MBSE diagrams, but at a very high level. Not how to draw them, not tools, just what they're for and why they exist. When people hear MBSE, diagrams are usually the first thing they think about, and that leads to a lot of anxiety. So the real question is, why do diagrams exist at all in MBSE? Let's reset expectations right away. You do not need to know every MBSE diagram to understand MBSE. In fact, most people only work with a small subset of diagrams, and even then, they use them for very specific purposes. At a high level, MBSE diagrams exist to help us communicate the system. They help us visualize structure, behavior, requirements, and verification, so everyone is aligned on what the system is and how it works. Some diagrams focus on requirements. These diagrams help show what the system must do and how requirements relate to each other. The goal isn't drawing boxes, it's making requirements easier to understand, trace, and manage. Other diagrams focus on structure. These show what the system is made of, components, subsystems, and how they connect. Structure diagrams help answer questions like, what are the parts of the system, and how do they fit together? These describe how the system acts over time, interactions, sequences, and responses. Behavior diagrams focus on this. Behavior diagrams help explain what happens first, what happens next, and how the system reacts under different conditions. There are also diagrams that focus on interfaces and interactions. These show how different parts of the system communicate with each other or with external systems. They're especially helpful when systems become complex and interconnected. Some diagrams and views focus on verification and traceabilities. These help connect requirements to design and test activities. This is how teams make sure the system actually meets its requirements, and not just on paper, but in reality. Here's the most important thing to remember. The diagram type matters less than the intent. Every diagram exists to answer a question. Once you know what that question is you're trying to answer, the diagram choice becomes much clearer. If you still feel overwhelmingly, that's okay. You don't need to answer or master what MBSE is at the moment. What matters is understanding why they exist and why they're trying to communicate. In the next video, we're starting to talk about configuration management and why it's so important, especially in complex systems.